Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Coding Java Tech tutorial. In the previous videos of the Spring Boot tutorials, we discussed about the introduction of a Spring Boot. Also, we discussed about the Spring Boot REST module annotations. In this Spring Boot video tutorial, we are going to discuss about how to serve the web pages. How to serve the web pages means how to serve the JSP files in the Spring Boot. So that means how to develop the MVC application in the Spring Boot. Now, to develop the MVC application in the Spring Boot, we will use some different kinds of annotations, which are completely different than the REST module annotations. Okay, so let's learn how to serve the web pages or how to develop the MVC application using the JSP and some other HTML templates in the Spring Boot. So these are the Spring Boot MVC annotation we can call. Okay, the first annotation is called the controller annotation, which is basically used to contain the presentation logic. Okay, so that means what? To which JSP, to which front-end technology the output of the application is mapped. Means it can be a JSP, it can be a some other front-end technology. Now, apart from the JSP, can we use other front-end technologies? Yes, of course. Actually, the Spring Boot built-in uses the default front-end technology called ThymeLeaf. Okay, ThymeLeaf or ThymeLeaf. How you can spell it? That's what the technology is. It uses the HTML syntax. Okay, so it parses the elements very quickly compared to the JSP. Apart from that, you can also use the free marker, tiles, velocity, etc. But in this tutorial, I am going to discuss about how I can serve the web pages or develop the MVC application in Spring Boot using the JSP. ThymeLeaf and some other technologies, we will discuss it later in the sessions. Okay, and the request mapping, we already used it in a REST controller, a REST module. So by what URL pattern, the request will be mapped. Model attribute, the model attribute is basically used to bind the form fields to the controller class methods parameters to the model class. Okay, means what? Form attributes. What are the form attributes are there? Na? Form values are there, na? Or form field values are there? Na? They gets bounded to the controller class methods parameters to the model class. Request parameter, it will read the request one by one request parameters from the JSP and then binds that value to the controller class method parameters one by one. But it never uses the model class. The functionality between the model attribute and the request parameter both are same, but the model attribute uses the model class at a time. All attributes of the model class will be bound to the controller class method parameters at a one shot, okay, or at once at a time. But here, one by one, request parameter, one by one, it will read one by one parameter from the HTML or JSP and then bound to the controller class method parameters. So both are the fill level attributes. Both are the fill level attributes. Okay, they are used for the fill level attributes. Okay, so what we will do now is we will create a one form. We will create a one form which contains a name, which contains the age, which contains some radio buttons, some drop-down lists, and then some checkboxes. And then once we developer enters the values and click the submit button, it will be populated to the user in the form of output. So how we will do that? So here you need to perform 3 steps. To perform this program, we need to do 3 steps. First one, create a Spring Boot project and choose packaging as bar. Second one, create web-inf JSP folder in web app folder. Third step, add JSP compiler and JSTL view dependencies in form.xml. Last but not least, configure JSTL views or JSP views in properties file. So these are the 4 steps you need to follow. The first step is create a Spring Boot project and choose a packaging as a var. Second one, this will create a web app folder. Create a web-inf JSP folder in the web app folder. Okay. Third one, add the JSP compiler and JSTL view dependencies in the pom.xml. And then last but not least, configure the JSTL views or JSP views in the properties file. Okay. So, and we will use these annotations. Okay. So let's start. So let's go to the Eclipse. Create a new project called Spring Starter Project. Here we can use it as Spring Boot MVC. Okay, then the remaining all are same. Here the package name is Spring Boot, and then everything is same. Now come to the dependencies. So, and then as I told you, you should change it to var file. Okay, we need to change it to what? Var file. Okay, packaging has to change to var file. So now this must be required. And then we don't have any other dependencies here because these 2 dependencies are completely non-Spring Boot related. So you can't get this JSTL and JSP compiler here. Correct? You need to add it manually. You need to add it what? Manually. Only we need to use this only. Okay. Next, go to the next, then finish. So now the project got created. So now you can see here the project looks like this. And then you can expand here. The one extra folder got created called web app. Are you seeing here? One extra folder got created, web app. Okay, so in this folder, you need to create the one more folder. Correct? So you can right click on it, new, and then the folder called web-inf JSP. Okay, finish. Okay. Now, before going to write the programs, I need to tell one very, very important concept here. So now in the JSP file, you need to create the 2 files. One is a new, and then here you need to search for JSP file. So there is no JSP. I mean, I need to go to other. So here you need to search for web. Yeah, here it is web. See, when you install the Eclipse, this web will not come. When you install the STS, this web plugin will not come. Now I need to install the JSP and then web plugins, JSP and web plugins. So that you need to install in the STS. How you can do that? So I have already installed. That's why it is showing here. So because it will only you can develop the console application or a REST application. But the web application, you need to add the web module. So go to the window, go to the help, go to the Eclipse Marketplace. Then here you need to type the JSP or some other thing. Just hold on, it fetches the information from the marketplace. For this, internet must be required, okay? Otherwise, you can't able to get. Okay. Just hold on, it is taking some time. So much time it is taking. Normally this much time it will not take. Yeah. Here you can type the JS and then you can click on go. Yeah. Here you can see there this one. Eclipse, Java and web developer tools. Okay, see here, these are used to serve the JSF, JSP, etc. So if this plugin is not present, see, I have already installed. This plugin is not present, then you can't able to create the JSP files. Okay, please install this. Understood? So after installing, it will ask you to restart the STS. You need to do that. Okay. Now, so that's the second step has been done. So create a web INF JSP folder in the web app folder. Third one, add the JSP compiler and the JSTL view dependencies in the pom.xml. Now let's open the pom.xml. Now there is a one dependency called Jasper. So that dependency will adds the JSP, compiles the JSP file. Okay, so you can write here dependency, then here group ID or dot Apache dot Tomcat dot embed. Okay, then artifact ID. Okay, dot Apache dot Tomcat dot embed. Fine. This is a one dependency. Second, so JSTL dependency. So the JSTL dependency, you need to use at what? The or Java X dot HTTP dot servlet. Sorry, Java X dot servlet. And this one JSTL. And then press save. So now it will download these two dependencies. Okay. So downloading. Okay. If any mistake is there in the artifact ID or group ID, it will show the error. So let's check it whether these dependencies are came or not. So let me check for JSTL. I can't able to see the JSTL here. Yeah, here it is. Okay, and then Tomcat Jasper. Yeah, here it is. Tomcat embed Jasper. Okay, this will compile the JSP. Right. Jasper is a compiler, compiles it. Okay, now the second step is done. Now the third step I will tell. Configure the JSTL view or JSP in the properties file. Fine. Okay. So now these three baby steps you need to perform before developing a web application in the Spring Boot. So now let's go to the folder here. In this folder, I'm going to create the, so this file is automatically created when you change that to the var packaging. So we don't use anything here. Okay, if you want, you can delete it. Otherwise, let it be keep like that. And this is the bootstrapping the Spring Boot application. So that is already present. So now let's create a new class called customer, or some other name called student. Okay. So we will use the int ID, string name, int age, then string gender, then we need the profession, or sorry, we need the languages. So import java.util.star. So for that, what we use list of string languages. And then last but not least, we need the profession. So string course. Okay, that's it. So now generate a getters and setter methods for this. Okay, so this is what the Pojo class has been done. Pojo class has been done. Correct. So ID, name, age, gender, languages, then course. That's it. So next, what we are going to create the control class called control. So student control. In the student controller, first thing we need to do is annotate with the controller annotation. No rest control. And then here, the first thing is I need to show the form to the developer. So then once the form has been shown to the developer, he will insert the information into the form and then click the submit button. Then it will show the output of the form. It should be populated. Okay, it must be populated. Okay, so let's do that. So for that, I want to show the form. I need to use a request mapping annotation. Then I should use a show form. Public string. Okay, then show. Then there is one interface in the Spring MVC called model. So this model stores all the Spring MVC applications data. This data will be stored in the form of arrays, collections, lists, maps, queues, objects, strings, etc. So it has a methods like add attribute, etc. So let's pass that model interface as a parameter in the show method. So this model interface is present in UI package. Okay. Now first create the object of the student class. So then you can use the add attribute method. Then you can pass the one attribute name here for student. This attribute name must be used as used to bound the form values. Okay. So that form values used to bound, and then it should be accessed in the output form. So return can use input. Input is a form name. Here input is a JSP file name. Okay, here the input is a JSP file name. Student is the attribute. All the Pojo class or the student class fields are bound with the student attribute. Fine. Okay, now this will display the form. Now, after displaying the form, when the user enters the information in the form, click the submit button. It should populate the values from the form and show the output. Now, for that, we need to create a one more method called submit form. Okay, it's a URL pattern, and then here it will not show anything. Okay, then here what I need to do, I need to cut these things. Then I need to use the model attribute. So what actually it does, model attribute is basically used to bound the form field values to the controller class method parameters. Okay, controller class method parameters. This controller class method parameters. So that is the student. Okay. So then you click right here. Turn output. Output is another JSP file which is used to show the output. So that's it. So then you can close the coding for the controller part is done. Okay, so that means what? Model attribute means what? From the student class, ID, name, age, everything will be read. Everything will be read from the JSP file and bound with those values, and then it will automatically displays it to the output.jsp. That's what the model attribute binds the form field values to the controller class method parameters. Controller class method parameters here, student, yes. Okay, one by one field. So student has an age, age will be got bounded by the age text field of the JSP file. So that is the job of model attribute. So now what I need to do, I need to create the two JSP files. So these two JSP files I'm going to create in the where here. The file names must be matched. Okay. See other, now web, I need to choose the web here. Then here I need to choose a JSP. So, and I will use input.jsp. Okay. Okay. So now what we can use is we can use some Spring tags to design the form. So I will import some Spring tags. So there is a one tag lib directive is there. So this is basically the directives of the JSP. If you have not studied, then you can please, I will tell you to read the JSP. Okay. So tag lib. So this is a form directives, then tag lib directives form. Okay, prefix. Then you can also use the one more directive called, is a page directive. So it means it enables the expression language. It enables the expression language. So now I will put some basic color, and I will also use the font. Okay. So now one by one we will use. Now I will import the tag lib directives form tags of through the tag lib directive. So I will start designing the form. The first one is what? ID. Okay. So in form input. So before that, I need to create a form tag. Form tag. It has some attributes called action. Then the action is this one. So action is what here? Submit form. Then the method get, and the model attribute, which is student, which is used to bind the form field values to the student attribute. So now you can cut this one here, and you can paste it. So enter the ID. So form input path equal to ID. Then there. Similarly, you can the other puts. Second one is name. Name. Third one is we have age. Fourth one is gender. So the gender is bit different. So form ready. Path equal to gender. Value equal to male. And BR tag. Next part, we are going to create the languages. Okay. Here again, we will use the checkbox. Okay, and then path is the languages. Value equal to English. Okay, then English. Okay, then here I can write some BR tag. Here I can write some BR tag. Here I can write some BR tag. Then I can write here also some BR tag. Then here I can write the Hindi, or maybe I can use Spanish. Then here I can use French. Okay, then I can write here Spanish. Fine. Okay. So that's it. We have done it right now. We can close the what is another one now? So the languages has been done. So now select profession. Sorry, select course. The course is, we have given the form tag. Then the, sorry, not form tag, select tag. Sorry, form select tag. Path equal to course. And the option. Sorry, form option. Value equal to -1. Select. And like that, you can copy 2 to 4 times. Right. Okay, done. So now, last but not least, we need to create the button. So form button submit. Okay, then close the form. That's it. So everything has been done. No, something is missed here. Just hold on. So the form is opened here. Here it is closed. That's why it's okay. So fine. Everything is open. So this form is basically a prefix I use. So I'm using prefix only. Form. Then enter the name, ID, enter the name, enter the age, and this is enter the value. Then select the languages, select the course. Fine. So that's it. And this course languages, then the age, name, ID, and then these must be same as these values. Otherwise, it will give error. languages, course, etc. So totally 6 are there. So now let's populate one by. How to populate this? We need to create a output.jsp. So we need to create a output.jsp. So let's go to the new, then class called or other called output.jsp. Fine. So again, we can put some this color and font size equal to 6. Then the color equal to red. Okay. So now you can write here the H1, the student information. First one is I need to display is, so you need to import the core tags. So taglib folder, taglib directive, you can import the core tags. So you have the JSTL dependency, you need to add the core tags. So here you need to add that this enables the expression language. So that for that percentage add is page is el ignored. False. It enables the expression language. So now first one, the ID. So ID is what? Dollar. This is what expression language. So what's the attribute name I have used? The attribute name is student. See in the controller class, the attribute name is student. This one. Now this a model attribute name is also student. So this student is what? This student. So I need to use a student dot ID. So now again write a BR. So copy and paste. Okay, so this is name. And then this is age. Okay, now there is a languages. Now gender also we'll use it. Now there is a languages. Now the languages are basically more than one. So how you can do that? So again, you need to use a for each loop. C for each loop. I mean for each tag for items. You can use the attribute name as student. Okay, then variable as student, then variable as L. Okay, attribute name as variable L. So you can write here the I think student dot languages. Then you can write here the C. Sorry, dollar of L. Okay, dollar of L. I think or C out equal to dollar of L. And do like this. Okay, so it will extract all the languages. Okay, and then stores it in L and it will display. And last but not least, we have the course. Yeah. Course, then you can write the same thing. Dollar student dot course. That's it. So now everything has been done. So I think when I run the application, I need to hit the URL as what? The show form. So it will show the form to me. Then after entering that, you will submit the button. It will match the submit form URL pattern, which is here, and then it will show the output form. It will show the output form. Okay, it will show the output. Okay, so shall we run the program now? So this is how we can done. Okay, I have done it. Okay, gender spelling is wrong here. The languages, and the variable L. Fine. So that's it. So let's run the application and see what happens. Yeah. Before running the application, how the Spring Boot recognizes that the output and input forms are stored. So that's what you need to go for last step. Configure the JSTL views and JSP views in the properties file. So that's the last step we need to do. We will go to the properties file here. Then first we can configure the port server.port, which is I can change it to 7878. Then the Spring dot the MEC dot view dot prefix. Prefix is what we're going to use. The prefix is here. The webinf JS. Then Spring dot MEC dot suffix. So which is what view dot suffix, which is .jsp. Okay, JSP folder, all the forms are stored. Input and output must be same as these input and outputs. Okay, and let's run the application and see what happens. Will it run or will it throw any error? Okay, shall we run? Okay, run as the Spring Boot application. Never mind. So it is started on a port number 7878. Correct? Yes. So now I need to write this URL, show form. How I can do that? Got the form. Correct? Enter the ID 1. Then enter the name Karan. Enter the age 22. Enter the gender, male or female. Okay, then select the languages, Spanish. Then select the course, BE, submit. And you got it. Understood? This is how you can do that. Fine. Can do that. So this is how you can populate the form field values. I hope you understood. Correct? And you can also select the all 3 languages. Okay, so all 3 languages. Okay, similarly, you can do the validation also. Okay, and also you can create another file called index.jsp here if you want. New other. So for this, again, as I told you, you need to have a index.jsp. And here I can write the color as I can use it as L and font size as red. Sorry, this 6 color as red. And here I can write the HR here equal to you can write here the index or welcome. Okay, welcome. So click. When I click here, it will show me the form. So how I can do that? So I need to go to the controller here. Then here I need to write a one method add, and here I should write welcome and public string index. Okay, return index. Okay, this is a form index. So it will show me that when I click the click button, it will show the welcome. Okay, So this okay, so when I click the form, so I think there is a mistake here. It should not write welcome. Here I should write the show the show form. So it will, when I click the click button, it will go to the show form. So show form will match to here the show form, and it will show the show form. Got it? Fine. Understood. So that's it. So when I need to hit the welcome, it will show me the index page. Okay, and then when I click the click here, it will go to the show form. Okay, so now when the show form comes, it will contains the submit button. When I click it, it will show me the form. Correct. So now in the form, I want to go to again back to the form. What should I do? So again, I can go to here the show student. So when I click the student form, again, it will take me to the student form. Correct? So I think it has been done now. Okay. So shall we run it again and see what happens? I need to write now what? The welcome. I need to write what now? Welcome. So because in the controller, I have written what? Welcome. Correct? So let's write the welcome. Okay. So it will show this one. Okay. When I click this, it will show me the form. Okay. So here I can write the 2. Then Vijay. Then 29. Then gender male. Then Spanish. Then course as MTech. Submit. So now it will show. So correct. Now you go back to the student form. So it will come back to here. Got it? So this is how you can develop the MVC application. I hope you understood this. Got it? I hope you understood this. In the next session, we will going to learn about the how to achieve the validation. Okay. I hope the flow also. The flow is very simple. So when I write the welcome, it will go to the index JSP. So in the index JSP, it will check for the show form. So in the controller, it will come here, and then it will show the form, and then it binds all the Pojo class fields with attribute called student, and then it returns the input form. So then once all the fields are entered, though all the fields are bound with the student attribute, model attribute, which is same as the this one. Okay, and then after binding it, what it will populates it into the output.jsp. So this form names input.jsp, index.jsp, and the output.jsp must be matched. Okay, fine. So you can go through this video again, you will understand. Got it? Fine. So this is a proper output of the application. Thank you. In the next video, we are going to discuss about how to achieve the validation. Thank you.